Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Behavior Code. I'm Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. And okay, today's episode, I feel like this one's going to hit a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it really will. So, we're talking about emotionally unavailable people. Like, why do some of us keep attracting them over and over again?
It's like a pattern, right? And the frustrating thing is, you don't even realize you're in it until you're like, wait, why does this keep happening to me?
Exactly. And I think that's actually the first thing we need to talk about. Like, what even is emotional unavailability? Because people use that term a lot, and I think it gets kind of muddied.
Right, right. It gets thrown around. So let's actually define it, yeah?
So, at its core, emotional unavailability is when someone is unable or unwilling to show up emotionally in a relationship. They might be physically present, they might even be super charming. But when it comes to actual intimacy, like real vulnerable connection, they pull back.
Yeah, and it can look really different depending on the person. Some people are emotionally unavailable because of past trauma. Some are just not at a place in their life where they want that kind of depth. And some, honestly, don't even know that's what's going on with it.
Which is the tricky part, right? Because you can't always tell from the outside. In the beginning, especially, they can seem amazing, like really attentive, really interested.
The hot and cold thing, that's such a classic sign. Like one week they're texting you constantly, and the next they've basically disappeared.
And your nervous system goes, wait, what did I do? And then you start chasing, which is kind of the whole trap.
Okay, so, and this is where it gets really interesting. Why do certain people end up in this cycle? Like, is it random? Is it bad luck?
It is absolutely not random. And honestly, that's the uncomfortable truth because it means we have to look at ourselves, which nobody really wants to do.
Yeah, it's way easier to be like, they're the problem. And sometimes, like, yes, they are a problem, but the pattern, that's on us to explore.
So, one of the biggest reasons, and this is rooted in attachment theory, is something called anxious attachment. And if you grew up in an environment where love felt inconsistent, where you didn't always know if your emotional needs were going to be met, your nervous system learned to stay hyper alert for signs of connection or withdrawal.
And that hyper alertness, it actually makes emotionally unavailable people feel familiar. Not safe, but familiar. And our brains confuse familiar with safe a lot.
That's such a good point. Like, familiar can feel like home, even when home wasn't actually a healthy place.
Exactly. And there's also this piece around self worth. Like, if deep down you don't believe you're worthy of someone who is fully present, then someone who's halfway there can feel like enough, or even like more than you deserve.
That one is hard to hear, but it's so true. And it often goes back to early experiences with caregivers, with parents. Like, if the people who were supposed to love you unconditionally were also the people who pulled away or were unpredictable, you internalize that as the norm.
So you grow up thinking love is supposed to feel like a little bit of chasing, a little bit of uncertainty. And then when you meet someone who's just like straightforward and available, it actually feels,
Boring or suspicious, even.
yes, like why are they being so nice? What's wrong with them? Which is, I mean, it's kind of heartbreaking when you think about it.
There's also, okay, this is another big one, the fixer dynamic. Some people are drawn to emotionally unavailable partners because there's a subconscious belief that if I can just love them enough, if I can just be patient enough, they'll open up, they'll change.
And that's really seductive, right? Because it gives you a sense of purpose. Like, this person needs me. And if I can help them become more open, more loving, then that means I must be really special.
Right, it makes you feel needed. But the issue is you're essentially putting your emotional well-being in someone else's hands, someone who, by definition, is not equipped to hold it.
And the cruel irony is, the more you chase, the more they pull away. Because emotional unavailability often comes with avoidant tendencies, where closeness actually triggers discomfort for them. So the more you lean in,
The more they back off.
Exactly. It's like a dance where you're both moving in opposite directions, and somehow that's what keeps it going.
So, okay, let's get into the more hopeful part of this because I don't want people to leave this episode feeling like, well, I'm just doomed to repeat this forever.
Right, because you're not. These are patterns, and patterns can be changed. It takes work, but they absolutely can.
The first thing I think is just awareness, like actually noticing the pattern. Because sometimes we've been in it so long we can't even see it anymore. So, have you had multiple relationships that felt hot and cold? Have you consistently found yourself chasing or over explaining or waiting for someone to finally let you in?
That's the audit, right? And it can be uncomfortable to do, but it's necessary.
Yeah, and then the next piece is understanding your own attachment style. There are some great resources on this, books like Attached by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller, or even just online quizzes to get a starting point.
And therapy. I mean, if you have access to it, working through this stuff with a professional is genuinely life changing. Because a lot of this stuff is pre verbal, it lives in the body, not just the mind.
Yes, 100%. Things like somatic therapy or EMDR can be really useful for getting at the root of these patterns, not just understanding them intellectually, but actually rewiring the nervous system's response.
And then, and this one's maybe the most practical, learn to recognize the signs early, before you're already emotionally invested. Things like they're inconsistent with communication, they're slow to make plans or always vague about the future. They deflect when things get personal. They talk a lot about not wanting something serious.
Believe people when they show you who they are. That one, I feel like it sounds simple, but it's actually really hard when you're in it.
So hard, because your nervous system is already hooked, and it wants to explain away the red flags instead of accepting them.
Which is why building a stronger relationship with yourself is really the foundation of all of this. Like, the more secure you feel in yourself, knowing your own worth, having your own life, your own support system, the less pull an emotionally unavailable person is going to have over you.
Because you stop needing them to complete something in you, and you can just see them clearly.
Okay, I feel like we could talk about this for hours, but let's wrap it up here. If you're resonating with anything we talked about today, please know that it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you learned certain patterns to survive, and now you get to unlearn them.
Yeah, and that's actually really empowering when you look at it that way. You're not broken, you're just running an old program. And programs can be updated.
Love that. Okay, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone you think might need to hear it. Leave us a review if you're enjoying the show. It genuinely helps more than you know.
And if you have a topic you want us to cover, hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. All right, until next time,
Take care of yourselves and each other.
see you next week.